Not my new sweat top. I found this little circuit diagram, which is basically the essence of a Nikola Tesla tuned coil. This is about as basic as it gets, the circuit diagram. But what happens is the supply voltage is applied at the source transformer, which you can see says AC there, which is the primary of a transformer winding, and then that voltage is stepped up through the transformer, which charges the little capacitor, and when the capacitor is fully charged to the extent that it can bridge the spark gap, a little spark jumps across the spark gap, induces a voltage in the secondary of the secondary transformer, and that, in tune with the secondary of the first transformer, sets up a resonant induction in the primary of the receiver. And one end of that primary receiver is grounded to earth, and the other end has like what I can only describe as a Van de Graaff dome on the top, and then through the whole tuned oscillation and the stepping up of the voltages and the increased pulse across the spark gap, you get a huge voltage on the primary of the second transformer, and that's how the Tesla coil fires sparks off, huge sparks, like Tesla called it man-made lightning, I believe. But what I was thinking was is that the Tesla coil, the Tesla tuned circuit, is actually being used in reverse. Now, people are putting mains on the primary of the first transformer and inducing huge sparks across the primary or the secondary of the second transformer, and it's quite a phenomenon to make lightning in your garden, but I think that's a miscreative use of the circuit. I think Tesla did that as a phenomenon to impress his colleagues, but I think the circuit was actually used as a way of capturing radiant energy from the atmosphere, which is actually direct current from the sun, and then through his tuning circuit, if it's used in reverse, then you're capturing the radiant energy, and then you'll be producing a main source on the primary of the first transformer. So we're actually using it backwards. But if we turned it around, and instead of using it to produce sparks to impress the neighbours, then we use it to capture radiant energy, and then we'd have an excellent use, an excellent free source of electricity. And I think that was one of Tesla's secrets. I think he was such a genius. He hid it in the circuitry, and we didn't understand it. And it's like 100 years later, and we're just starting to get Mr. Tesla's little joke. That's basically the way it works. You put a voltage across the mains there, the mains of that primary of the transformer, and it's stepped up through the secondary of that transformer, which charges the capacitor. When the capacitor is sufficiently charged and the voltage is built up, the voltage bridges the spark gap, which jumps across a little spark, and the collapsing spark induces a voltage, which increases the voltage, which then is applied across the primary of that transformer. And now that whole circuit, oscillating in tune with the mains, induces voltage across the primary of that transformer, which is basically a big winding. The bottom of that is grounded to earth, and the top of that is a receiver, which is like a Van de Graaff dome, which then shoots great sparks off into the atmosphere or down to ground. What Tesla discovered was that if you put an aerial up into the atmosphere, like a 100-foot aerial, and then you bury the ground in the earth, the size of this aerial from the bottom where it's grounded to the top, you can capture approximately 50 volts per inch of free radiant energy. Now what I'm suggesting is, instead of using this circuit as a great phenomenon to create lightning, we actually use this as a receiver to capture radiant energy from the atmosphere, and then the circuit will work backwards because it will apply a voltage and a current through the primary of that transformer, which will then be a secondary transformer. We could move the capacitor over to this side, so when that's fully charged, the spark can jump across the spark gap, which will induce voltage in the secondary of that transformer, which will then create a source of power. So why aren't we using it? And I was surfing the internet the other day looking for, what's the name of it? Oh, there's a name for it. It's the Tesla Radiant Energy Transmitter or something like that captures energy. And I found a paper that Mr. Tesla wrote, and it's on the internet as a PDF file, and here's the link. And for those of you who'd like to hear what Nikola Tesla had to say firsthand about some of his own inventions and the way the world would turn out and things like that, go and read the PDF file, because it's like really interesting. And there's also some advanced technology breakthroughs in there as well. So anyway, I was in the mood for making videos tonight, so that's my little video. Thanks for watching. See that? Established 1902. I think that means we're a bit behind the times, don't you? I made a slight mistake with my circuit, by the way. I said it was 50 volts per inch, and it's not 50 volts per inch, it's actually approximately 50 volts per foot, which is the old imperial measurement, approximately 3 feet to a metre, in case you didn't know. So this is basically a receiver, which is like a giant capacitor, and you've got the windings of a coil which is connected to the aerial, and the bottom of it goes into the ground and produces approximately 50 volts per foot free radiant energy. That's before you even put it through a transformer. So we could be generating thousands of volts, not just tens or hundreds. Russell Athletic. £10 for Sport World. It was a second. Beware of Sport World, they're all seconds. Established 1902.